Hi there, this is Sarah Neighbor with Sarah Loves to Stamp. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I wanted to bring you a video on how to watercolor. I really love to watercolor. I find it a little relaxing, and I just really enjoy it, so I wanted to bring you a video on that. First of all, though, I'm having a contest with a prize. If you're a current customer of mine, meaning you've ordered from me in the last 12 months, this is for you, and I'll put a link to it down below, and so you can see all the details on my blog about it. I hope you'll enter, and it's about the retiring stamps, so you only have a few days. The contest only goes until March 20th, because our retired list comes out on March 21st. Yay! It's an exciting time of year when we have stuff retiring and new stuff coming in. It's an exciting time. So, anywho, let's get to this. And this is a project I started for the As You See It challenge this week. And so that's what's going on with these little bunny guys. It's an animal challenge this week, so this little guy is for my challenge card for them. But I thought I'd make some more and make extra baby cards. Although this one I'm making for Easter, so you can use it for whatever. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out what color I want my bunny body to be. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my ink pad. I guess technically that's not the first thing. Oh, I squeezed that one really well. And then that'll make a pool of ink on the inside. You can also use a reinker and just drop your reinker in the lid, or drop it on something else, or color a marker if you don't have the ink pads. Color a marker like on something non-porous, like one of our acrylic blocks or something. Okay, so first of all, I stamped the bunny here on watercolor paper, and this bunny is from Baby We've Grown. It's in the Occasions catalog. Hopefully I'm not getting ink on the back of this one, so that bunny's right here. It's just the cutest darn set, so anyway, that's what that is. Alright, so I'm going to just kind of squeeze some of the water through my aqua painter. Aqua painters come in sets of 2. This is the smaller brush tip, and it's what I usually use to color in fine images like this one. And then our watercolor paper is really fantastic for watercoloring, obviously. But you definitely need watercolor paper if you want to watercolor. And then I need to keep it up here towards the center so I don't go out of the frame. And then just start where you want. And I meant to start where I wanted it darkest, but I didn't. So I'll start to build the color up on the other parts of it. And then you're just going to color them all in first, is what I typically do. I know some people go ahead and leave like the highlight spots where the sun would really be hitting it. They leave those really nice and light from the very beginning. I go back more and add in the darkness, and sometimes I can remove a little bit of color to make light. It's just up to you and how you prefer to color, I suppose. And I love coloring. I always loved coloring books as a child, so it reminds me of those times, and so it's a little fun. And then I get to, coloring it. You always wanted to give it to your mom or your sister, or, anybody. Teacher, anybody you thought would hang it up, right? So kind of the same idea with card making, I suppose. I have a little blobby area there on his face. I think it's because I used the back of the cardstock here because I messed up the front. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move that water around. There we go, so it doesn't sit on that one little area, and I'll try to remember not to put it back in that area. Okay, so I just want to give him a whole coat, and you could stop there. It's gonna look great anyway, just because you watercolored it, but if you want to give it a little extra dimension, that's where you go in and add the shadows. I'm gonna go back to this guy because what you want to do, and I'll just set this one aside to dry. You really don't want to add more color to it until it's completely dried, the first layer of color. So I'm just gonna jump in with this pistachio pudding and this little guy. He's pretty darn cute too, and I'm going to go ahead and add darkness. I always pretend that the sun is coming from the upper right hand corner, so I'm going to add shadows more down and to the left. And you always want to add them like underneath something too, like underneath this arm, for example, there would be a natural shadow. And you're going to want to add pretty intense color to make a shadow, so go ahead and, there's that, and then here, and maybe his leg crease here. And then, let's see, maybe right there, underneath the bow tie for sure. And I'm going to water this down a little bit for the side of his belly, because I want his belly to be, a lighter color than his body, so I'll have to go back and make his body a little bit darker too. But I'll just give you an idea here, and then you can always pick it up and run with it. Okay, so right now it looks pretty harsh, but hopefully you can see where I really added the color. And then before that dries, you want to go back and blend that in. And I just use little, tiny circle motions. And if you need to get your water flowing, just squeeze your brush a bit. I am not squeezing it because I don't want my water to flow any more than it already is. Mine is really good right now. You don't want to oversaturate your paper. When you oversaturate your paper, that's when they'll bleed out outside of the edges. Because you have too much water, and your paper can't absorb all that water all at once if you get too much. So I need to be careful of that. I need a little more. His arm looks really pale to me. I'll add a little more to his arm. Okay. And then just blend out his little face here. Oh, and I meant to put a little bit of darkness up by his ear too. I think this one here would be dark in between the ears. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and then I just go back in probably and darken up his whole body a little bit. And you can always go back in and add more shadows and that type of thing. Hopefully I'm not getting impatient. I keep being impatient and then it bleeds outside the lines, and that's not what you want, obviously. I might have to go back in and add some darker shadows because I think I'm covering most of them up. But you get the idea. You can still see the one on his little belly here because I didn't color anymore there. And then I did go around my first image. I'll shut up that ink pad and show you. Around my first image, I actually went around it with, I actually used Wisteria Wonder because I already had it out and I knew it looked kind of grayish. But I will probably use Smoky Slate on the rest of these to add a grounding. And then I usually add the shadow to the one side of it that again would be like the lights over here, so I added shadow to the left side. So I hope that little quick tip was helpful to you, and I hope you'll try watercoloring. You need watercolor paper, some sort of ink, and either, like, I love these because it's a water and brush in one, but you can also use a paintbrush with water. That works fine too. I just love these because you just refill the water tube and it's always in there. And then do make sure between colors that you have like a paper towel or whatever and you squeeze out all the color and make sure there's no color left on there before you go into your next ink pad or whatever you're going to do, just so you don't muddy the colors. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tip, and click the link below to go to my blog post about that contest. Also, there'll be a link to my blog post for this card that I'm making for the As You See It challenge, and I hope you'll play along with us this week. It's an animal theme, so anything animal goes. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.